Have you ever considered the power of preparation, especially during the most important moments in life? The story of Jacob gathering his sons to impart his final blessing is a master class in a life lived with purpose, a role model of leadership, and a death embraced with faith in God's promises. As we come to the end of Jacob's long and eventful journey, we find him not just preparing for death, but actively shaping the future of his family and the nation that will come from his line. In this intimate scene, Jacob demonstrates a powerful truth that the choices we make today have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our lifetime. With prophetic insight and a heart filled with love, Jacob speaks over each of his sons, calling out their unique destinies and warning them of the consequences of their past actions. He reminds them that our decisions and character are not just private matters, but have the power to impact generations to come. We see this most clearly in the contrasting blessings given to Reuben and Judah. Reuben, the firstborn, is rebuked for his impulsiveness and instability, and his leadership is forfeited because of his past sins. But Judah, though not without fault, is singled out for his strength, courage, and future role as a kingly leader. It's a turning point in the story of God's people when the mantle of promise begins to pass from one son to another. In this transition, we see the unfolding of God's sovereign plan. Jacob's words are not just musings of an old man, but a prophetic glimpse into the destiny of Israel. We see hints of the Messiah woven through the imagery of Judah's blessing, the scepter, the ruler's staff, the obedience of nations. It's a promise that will echo through the centuries, finding its ultimate fulfillment in the Lion of the tribe of Judah, Jesus, the Messiah. But Jacob's final words are more than just a prophecy. They are a declaration of faith. With his last breath, he instructs his sons to bury him in Canaan, the land God promised to his fathers. It's a request rooted in his steadfast faith that God will do what he has said. And therein lies the heart of Jacob's legacy. Not just the blessings he spoke over his sons, but the faith he demonstrated in the promises of God. Through every trial and triumph, every joy and heartache, Jacob learned to cling to God's promise, to stake his life on the faithfulness of the Word of God. It's a posture that you and I need to emulate. Like Jacob, we're called to live with eternity in our hearts, to make choices today that will echo through the generations. We may not have prophetic insight into the future, but we do have the unchanging promises of God as our rock in the storms of life. So how do we practically apply these lessons from Jacob's final moments? First, we must recognize that our lives are not just about us. Every decision we make, every word we speak, every action we take has the potential to impact those around us as well as future generations. We're not only stewards of our own story, but also the ongoing story of God's people. Second, we must cultivate a deep trust in God's sovereignty and faithfulness. Like Jacob, you and I will face trials and uncertainties in this life, but we can face them with confidence, knowing that the same God who fulfilled his promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is still at work in our own lives. He's weaving every detail into his perfect plan. And finally, we must learn to live with the end in mind. Jacob's final request to be buried in Canaan was a powerful statement of his eternal perspective. It was a reminder that ultimately this world is not our home and that our greatest inheritance lies beyond the grave. So like Jacob, live with purpose and faith. Make choices today that will leave a legacy of blessing for coming generations, and fix your eyes on the God who holds your futures in His hands. For that is the hope that sustained Jacob in his final moments, the hope of a promise fulfilled, a faith rewarded, and a life well lived. Allow that same hope to anchor your soul and be the light by which you walk until the day you are gathered to God's people forever in the presence of the one who makes all things new.